Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Perfect Balance Tribe Class. We have with us Okavango, the Rebel Guru, Bingi, Yaga, aka Teacher Ma'at, and I'm yours truly, Rastida, and this is the Perfect Balance Tribe Class. How is everyone today?
You're there.
Just want to say, Okavango, I like your shirt a lot. It's looking very...
Yeah, man, give thanks, man.
Progressive, and
Give thanks.
and a very, 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 very lovely shirt by Bingy as well.
Give thanks.
Royal and distinguished.
And a very
Royal and distinguished. Yaga, Aile. Yes, I give thanks a moment.
Yeah,
So
man.
we're here. Yes, I. Want to remind our viewers to like, share, and subscribe. And feel free to leave a comment in your opinion on what's being discussed and things that you would like to be discussed. And feel free to be a part of this growth. The channel is doing a lot of good stuff. I see. I hear a lot of good feedback, a lot of good views, a lot of concerns and points to improve as well. And as we go, because just like in everything in life, everything is about growth and about change and development and progress. And this tribe class is no different. I believe that every member of the tribe class is a firm believer, firm proponent of growth and progress. We're going to go right away into our balanced view section. And as you know, we're going to turn it over to Okavango, the Rebel Guru, for the balanced views.
Thank you, Guru.
Give thanks, Rastafarian. The Balance View section is a section of the program where we discuss current affairs. So let's get right into it. The first one, Microsoft CrowdStrike outage causes chaos for flights, hospitals, and businesses globally. A faulty cybersecurity update from CrowdStrike wreaked havoc across the medical and travel industry, with flights and medical procedures cancelled and delayed. What do you them think about that, Bingy? Want to pick it up?
Yeah, well, I think with globalization and only a handful of companies actually controlling network infrastructure, I think this is going to be the result of failure, or what the result of failure looks like. Right. Big tech companies having monopoly on everything that when they do have an issue, is going to affect the entire world. It's going to be a global situation. So monopolization has to stop. That's one of the things we need to stop. But how do you really stop it, right? So we know this happened. It
these
affected
companies
millions.
are global companies, so it's difficult to stop them.
Yeah, it is very difficult. But this is the type of thing that we're gonna see going forward in the future too. Now they saying, hey, this happened because of a software update, right? All right, cool. This happened because, but look at the damage done, right? With that little one thing. Imagine though, a cyber attack was to happen. Then what would it be then, right? Because that too is a moment of vulnerability, right? Think about it. Now your system has been affected, so you leave a space for an attack as well. So easily you could get hacked. Now you have a bigger situation. We don't even know what really has happened as yet. Like, I don't think it
that
has
could be a part of the
totally gone
strategy.
away as yet in the form that
The vulnerability could be a part of the
Yes.
strategy, so that when that vulnerability is identified, then you have to find another solution for that problem. So here comes the next package rolling out, and you're giving away your privacy, you're giving away your security, and giving away more freedom in the cyberspace. So it's very tricky when it comes on to big tech, because they got these
it is
collusion
but it's the same.
strategies that they use to create issues and find solutions for the issues they create, because it's business for them as usual. Business is up, they win. Business is down, they win. So it doesn't matter. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So while
finish with
there might be
I'm just saying it's unfortunate.
Yeah. While there might be a genuine problem, a genuine issue in the tech, so that it affects all these organizations and massive other global companies that use the service, there might be also suspicion that, listen, this could be market driven also, where people are trying to establish their dominance in the industry. So you never know how to look at it when it comes down to these big companies.
Yeah, man. So, Dada, what's your take on the whole outage?
It's just indicative, right, of when we move away from a real to the fake, right? And how challenges can so easily cause disruptions, right? With this advance into the meta world, the information age, everything is pretty much in the binary. Everything is in the code, in the matrix, in the binary, right? Now, your records, your financial assets, any aspect of your existence as a person now exists in the digital, in the binary code, right? Now, if a software update can cause a global outage, like think about something as serious as heart surgery or brain surgery. You're in the operating room, and all of a sudden the equipment that monitors a person's life stops working because of a global outage. Like that massively drops the likelihood of success in a surgery like that. You understand? So something when they thought about coming up with this, so we're gonna create social media, we're gonna have online communities, we're gonna have everything going digital. They didn't think about things like this. There was no consideration for things like this, but now we're seeing it happen.
And they throw away all the manual. They throw away all the manual things. So no manual things being kept. So once they come in with the digital,
everything else,
all the manual is gone. So the only way they can do it is, and the people who are learning these things nowadays, they don't learn nothing manual. So even if the manual can still be done, they weren't trained manual, so they still can't do it.
It's alien to them. It's like if you take a telephone, and show it to a kid today, they wouldn't have a clue what it is. You know what I'm saying?
There's no doubt. There's a place for the technology. It has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. So we have to use and harness the technology for the creative side and the innovation that it brings. But we can also see that when things like this happen, it affects everything. You can't transact a financial transaction because the system is down. And depending on where you are on that day, at that stage in your life, you can see the massive disruption that it causes to ordinary people.
Yeah, and I think it's also ironic that the company CrowdStrike is responsible for cybersecurity, and they are the one that mess up the card, this whole thing. You know what I mean? Even though people are stuck in airports, can't move because everything is backed up. So you know what I mean? People still can't move. People have been in the airport for days. People supposed to get, as a lady, supposed to get cancer treatment, and she missed her treatment. You know what I mean? So a lot of things, banks.
They cause the globalization and monopolization all at once, right? Those are the effects, and listen, it's not going to get better, right? As these companies become more and more powerful, right?
Did any attackers take responsibility for it, or have they identified the cause of the problem?
Well, the attacker was CrowdStrike, and they took responsibility for the faulty.
Update.
So they were responsible for securing the network. But that is the business that they are in, and that is what happened in that business. Even the best.
They should prevent it, right? Yeah. That's
the irony of it.
That's the irony of it. Right? So we're gonna move on. So this one, appeal court rules Kensington Primary School ban on dreadlock breaches constitutional right of child. So this is a story that go all the way back to 2020. when a 5-year-old girl that had dreadlocks, that she had dreadlocks and went to school, the Kensington Primary School says that she had to cut the dreadlocks in order to attend school. And the family, who is, you know what I mean, is that, I don't know if they are Rasta, but they all had dreadlocks. The father had dreadlocks and the mother had dreadlocks. And I mean, said they weren't going to cut the child's ear. The school says the dreadlocks cause a hygiene issue and could cause a outbreak of lice and junjo. That is I'm quoting the principal of the high school.
That is the colonial view. That was the view they have at Rasta back in them days.
So
nothing has changed.
The parents decided to sue the school in 2022. The High Court in Jamaica ruled that the school had the right to ban the child from coming.
They won the case. The school won the case.
The school won the case.
And the law court.
The court ruled the child, the school had the right to ban the child, to tell the child to cut her hair in order to attend school. So they went to the Constitutional Court of Jamaica, the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal now overturned it, said indeed the child constitutional right was
violated.
I think it was violated on the case of freedom of expression. So I mean, so it wasn't even because she's a black child wearing her natural hair. It was like freedom of expression. So what do you them think, Yaga?
Well, based on what you have reported and the account of what they're saying, that view has been the view of many Jamaicans from them times until this time. Nothing has really changed. And I mean, if you decided to grow your hair, and the thing is that we need to understand how powerful the hair is as part of our DNA and as part of us as a people. If someone decided to keep their hair and grow their hair, I don't see in this time and age why would that be such a problem of expressing one's culture, of expressing one's freedom, of expressing oneself. The hair doesn't cause any harm to anyone. So to find these views still exist in controlling the mind, in controlling what people do, nothing has changed. And that is also a problem with the school system. A lot of things has not changed in the school system. And there are more important things that they could look at in the school system that is going to benefit and improve the teaching and learning of the students, because I don't think the hair will impact the teaching and learning of the students or any student for that matter. And to mention hygiene as an issue, that could happen to any hair, because we grew up in a time when a lot of us weren't Rasta, but we have some of these same issues that they're talking about. And no one prevented a child from going to school because of those issues. You just treat them, if that's a concern, accordingly, and they are reintegrated into the population again.
Yeah. You need to get the Wi-Fi, Daddy.
I think you had to log out and log back in and
So the next one is Appeal Court rules Kensington Primary ban on dreadlock breaches constitutional right of child. So what happened in 2020, a 5-year-old girl wearing she had dreadlocks, and her families also have dreadlocks. I'm not sure if they are Rastafarians, right? They send the child to the school, Kensington, and Kensington say the child has to cut her hair in order to attend school. The family took the school to the last school on the school, and in 2022, High Court in Jamaica ruled that the Kensington High School had the right to ban the child or told the child to cut her hair to attend school. and the parents ending up went to the Court of Appeal, and now the Court of Appeal has ruled that Kensington had indeed go against the constitutional right of the child, right? So the Kensington school said the reason for them ban tell the child to cut her hair was because of the matter of a lice outbreak or junjo in the school. That's the reason why they want the child to cut her hair. So Bengi, what do you think about the whole thing?
Well, all goes on as before, right? Especially for people who wear their hair with in Ras or who are Rastafarians, right? We know if we am a Rasta man, we know the history of Rasta being segregated out of school systems because of their hair, for example. So when you hear stories like this, you be like, well, wow, yeah, I remember the period of time when you wear locks, you couldn't go into schools, right? They didn't accept you. You had to fight to go to school, right? So they had the same kind of demands. Now, I don't really know the full situation, but everybody has the right of self-expression, no matter what it is, right? They talking about hygiene. What is unhygienic about having RAS? Right? There's nothing unhygienic about having a RAS. So that shouldn't even be a discussion. Right? If you say there's a lice outbreak, well then is everybody cutting their hair? Because lice going in all kind of hair. Whether it's straight, they dread it, they demand everybody shave their heads. But then the courts now, think about what the courts have done. The courts, the lower courts, I would put it, has ruled unjustly. They had to go through this thing to go all the way to the high court or the appeal court so they could get justice. None of this should even be happening. I don't think we live in an age, we in a time where people shouldn't have liberties like freedom of expression, freedom to practice or worship however they want to worship. Those things should be basic human rights. We shouldn't be discussing this. We shouldn't be having this type of discussion in this time right now. It shows a lack of growth, right? And we are third world. Sometimes they say we are third world, and they're not talking about third world as far as in your position in the development in human history, but in the way you think, right? Your third world in your thinking, and this is a perfect example of that. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Give thanks, Bengi. Dada?
I remember when we used to go to school, mostly like primary school, there used to be a lot of talk about like a lice outbreak or stuff like that. And in those days, I don't recall seeing any person coming to school with locks. So the reason why I'm saying that or making reference to that is that like lice isn't associated primarily to dreadlocks. So in those days, people were having lice outbreaks and there weren't anybody coming to the school with dreadlocks. So that was something that was completely frivolous, but we're aware as well that because of the colonial mindset that people who went through the experience of slavery and colonialism carry, because it's a mind control, it's a brain altering
It's an archaic rule.
way of thinking. It is. You know what I'm saying? But we've been taught to think and view things along these lines. But it just shows how self-hate, right? Self-hate, because the reason why they have an issue with this practice of growing your locks is because we were taught to hate ourselves. We were taught that our expressing ourselves as indigenous African was something that was unfavorable. So therefore
Forbidden.
it wasn't something that was to be desired. So everything was done to prevent that. So when you look at something like you growing your hair, you expressing yourself as an indigenous African is reason enough to prevent you from getting an education. When we look at it at its core, right? Expressing yourself as an African is reason enough to prevent a 5-year-old child from gaining an education. And this is coming from the proponents of education. These are the practitioners of education. And their view is, okay, well, if you have locks, you don't deserve to get an education. It's sad.
Yaga, are you there?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a waste of public fund. It's a total waste. There's no reason for the court to get involved in such a situation. And the schools, particularly in Jamaica, in this time and age, the rules and the regulation needs to reflect the society, needs to reflect the community. Once upon a time, that was the norm to prevent and bar Rasta from going into schools, going into public institutions. They were a target of the police. They suffered the consequence from the police because of their here. And to see that happening in this time, it is totally atrocious. It is a shame. It's really shameful. And I mean, it's that time of year where schools are going on summer break and they will be opening soon within a month or so. And you'll be hearing some of the stories that will be coming out and some of the reasons why kids are barred from school. Tell me, does this affect the teaching of the teachers? Does it affect the learning of the child? That is what I want to know. If it is not affecting those things, because those are the reasons why they're in school.
Teaching and learning.
Why is it an issue? Why is it a problem? If it's not self-hate and the fact that you don't like Rasta.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
and
this
can
one,
I just add something else again before we move on? Like the fact that when it went to the lower courts, they actually ruled in favor of the school to support the actions of the school.
Is the I court?
The high court.
Well, we're going to call it the low court because there's a court higher than it. You understand? We're going to call it the low court because there's a court higher than it. You understand? So they ruled in favor of the school to say, okay, well, you know what? You guys are right. We're supporting you. Now, if the parents didn't have the resources to say, okay, we're going to challenge this and we're going to go to the Court of Appeals, then they would have been forced to follow the colonial actions of the school and cut their child's ear on that premise or changing their hairstyle on that premise.
Or they can educate the child themselves, because I'm sure that's the recommendation the school will be making, and the judge will also be making that recommendation as well, which I have no problem with, really.
There's no problem with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so give thanks, Yaga. So for me, this one is deep for me because I grew up as a child who faced these things. I wore dreadlocks to school and I faced all those things, and that was in the 90s. I mean, the first school I went to was my primary school. I had to leave that school to go to another school because I was facing such discrimination from the school. And I went to another primary school and still face
in your own country. Imagine that.
Discrimination again. When I graduated from that school, I went to a high school, which is St. Elizabeth Technical, I'm gonna call them. That one school, I've never faced any discrimination. That's one school in Jamaica. So when I went there, I think I was among four other Rastas that was at the school. One was before me and two was before me. One joined with me and one came after. I don't know how it was after I left, but it was 5 of us at the school at the same time as Rasta. That school I never faced any discrimination. But my family ended up after move from St. Elizabeth to St. Catherine, right? And for me, St. Elizabeth State is a technical high school, and I wanted to go to another technical high school, right? Which is Dintil. And when I went to the school, the principal's secretary, the principal wasn't here. The principal's secretary told me that I had to cut my hair to join the school. And that's what it like September. Before school opened in the September.
That was the norm in them times.
I had to drive every day because I was gonna cut my hair. I still had to drive for 6 months. I had to drive from St. Catherine. You guys know the route from St. Catherine to St. Elizabeth to school every morning.
Wow.
And I mean, in that, it was rough. And I decided, you know what, this can't work. And I said, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again, right? Because I've gone to my 3 other schools with my locks, and I went again with the help of a friend. His son was going to the school, and he knew the principal. and I met the principal, and I have to big up that principal every day, Mr. Dennis Clark. He said that like I should have tried back from the September because he was looking out for me because I was supposed to return to see him, right? But because what the lady tell me, I didn't go back. And he was saying like he was looking out for me because he said he was a Ethiopian Orthodox in his younger days, you know what I mean? And he said he was looking out for me and he's glad to have me in school. So I was the first Rasta to ever go to Dintil Technical High School. You know what I mean? And seeing this now, it hurt me because I think that I have kicked down some barriers back then. You know what I mean? So that like that this little girl could go to school.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was in the 90s. But that was in 2000. But yeah. So this it hurt me. So I was following the story a lot, man. It hurt me deep. Even when the High Court ruled, I was so upset. You know what I mean? Because imagine you're in a black majority country and you can't wear natural hair.
Even in this time where you see so many people sporting a dreadlock, people are taking objection to being called a Rasta because that's not the reason why they are growing their hair. That's not the lifestyle behind their hair.
Right,
Even in Jamaica, we are reason with some brethren. A few weeks ago, we are reason with some brethren, and they might say, yo, right now, I have to be careful how I call a man a Rasta because a man say, yo, man a Rasta. So him so just say, yo, you see when me see a Rasta man, we can't say them a Rasta, me just say, yo, Bob Marley. Because them take objection to being called Rastas. They are not going that they're here for that purpose. And those are some of the mentality. Some of these decision makers have that towards Rastafari, same way nothing has changed.
But like I said earlier on too, right? For I growing up in the era that I grew up in, that was the norm, right? So I come in through the 70s growing up, right? You man moving through. Them is the norm where you see that happening. You would think we are so way past that then. We're past that stage where we are still discriminating against people who are different within your own society, your own people. There's your own people, you're all Africans together, but yet you have this colonial mentality of what you supposed to look like, right? They tell you what you supposed to look like. They telling you.
Because they were taught that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because they were taught
you have to disregard that because that is meaningless to you. That is meaningless. What they tell you is meaningless.
And another thing too, in relation to Okavango's experience, you know, it shows you how sometimes people take decision making on their shoulders when they have no right to make these decisions. Who is the secretary of the principal?
Of the principal,
to tell a child, listen, in order for you to come to this school, you have to cut your. That's your opinion. That the principal is the one who made such a decision. If they have a right to make such a decision, not saying they do, but I'm saying that's a decision for a principal, not the secretary.
I wish I could remember her name to Bonafire Banar.
That would be a good one out. That would be a good one out. That would be a good one out.
Yeah, man, but as me I say, in a country with majority black people in the country, right? You still have rules against people wearing the natural black hair.
The natural
black
it's
hair.
called selfie.
Look at all the country that have a type of religious background to that country or any kind of spiritual like indigenousness to that country. You look at like India. You look at the army. You see the Sikhs. They're wearing their turban. You know what I mean? Any country where you have a religious background in that country, they make a way so you could join anything in the country and be who you are. In a country like Jamaica, where Rasta is indigenous to Jamaica, you can't, like in every part of the government, you cannot be Rasta. And Rasta is.
Right.
The only thing more Jamaican than Rasta in Jamaica is the hummingbird. That's the only thing in Jamaica more Jamaican than Rasta. The hummingbird. Everything else they come there is somewhere else. Rasta is indigenous to Jamaica and still they decide to fight against Rasta. All because even the slave masters is beyond that. You go in any other what you call it, first world country, and they're done with those things.
They have tolerance. There's tolerance. There's tolerance.
Yeah, right. And in these black countries, because I even see a story out of Ghana, you know. A far right who shot from Jamaica to Ghana, you know. They're fighting his kid. They want his kid to come to school leader, you know, in Ghana,
Yeah,
you know, in
man.
Africa, you know.
Yeah, man.
So
From them,
guess
they
what
have
year they
to
do? Guess what type of year? If that little girl had worn, they wouldn't fight. If she
Straight-
burn up her hair and burn up her
straight
hair
out
and straighten it
here
out
and
and
have
put
some
chemical
long,
in it, oh, and make it look
long
nice, like a nice
false hair.
white girl, straight and nice, like a nice white girl here. Then, oh, you're so beautiful, man. Come to school. You know what I mean? But if it look too black, you know what I mean? Look too black, they don't want it
It's
there.
bad
If it's
enough.
afro or locks,
It's bad enough
it's
being
banned.
discriminated
Yeah, man.
for your skin, but including the hair to it, man,
I get emotional
doesn't
on
get
this
any
topic,
worse than that.
I want to move on, but I think I'm getting too
Yeah, yeah.
emotional on this topic. So the next topic is a comment that was made on a previous video. I think that is the video that we talk about climate change and the election in the US. So I'm gonna read the comment to the item. Quote: "This is why there is no change because of people like these. We talk, and when the time comes to make the change, they sit aside and talk stupidness. What do I then think of this comment? Because the perfect balance, I'll reply for the individual to clarify what they was saying or whatever it is was saying, but they didn't reply. But from what I'm reading, the president say that all we're doing is talk, and what we're talking is stupidness. So, which are you talking the stupidness?
Well, I think a bit more context is needed to what they are saying, so I can't respond to an individual like that without further clarity. But me have a strong feeling say I don't know I thought it's stupidness.
I apologize.
What am I talking about?
Listen. Let me say this, man. Like, it comes again to self-hate, right? It comes again to self-hate because, like, if Majesty teaches us that collective reasoning is the only source of strength, only source of help, right? So, in order for us to move forward, we have to have collective reasoning, because what collective reasoning does is it provides us with a clear framework of moving forward. That means any differences of opinion can be ironed out, can be resolved amicably. So
As long as they're on the table.
Right. So we know that this is a clear means of action. This is how we're going to move forward. If we don't have collective reasoning, then we lose that. So what we end up is confusion. We end up with one person thinking that, okay, we're going to do A, while everybody else is thinking we're doing B. With collective reasoning, everyone agrees that the first course of action is going to be A, and we all move systematically towards the accomplishment of A. After we have accomplished A, then we move to B. And that's what collective reasoning does. But not everyone can deal with that, because some people are of the mindset how they think they want things done is how it's supposed to be done. And therefore, if it's not done that way, it presents a problem. We can't do anything about that. All we can do is collectively come to a mutual agreement or understanding on these topics, and then we can come forward now with actions that we can implement to help to change and eradicate these.
Yeah, so let me add we talk about on that day, on the comment we talk about Mark Golin saying we're gonna renounce his citizenship. We talk about the climate change with Hurricane Beryl, and we talk about Donald Trump and Biden for the US election. Yeah, so Bingy, you wanna add Something's right.
I guess sometimes you don't even really want to respond to comments like that because
You did a
first
lot
of
of
all,
chatting that you
Thanks.
feel
Later, we're
in
going
it.
to the grocery store.
yeah, yeah,
So it could have been Binky.
yeah,
It
could
might have
be
been
me,
Binky.
right? And listen, and if it's me, then I apologize, right? If you think is nonsense that we're talking, but if you're gonna comment about us speaking nonsense, then articulate what the nonsense is. Don't just say we talking nonsense. Say, hey, when you spoke about XYZ, what did you mean by it? So you're not even. I don't even know if it's really worthy of a response, even though we responding. I feel like it's something we just doing. But this is where it starts. It always starts with conversation. It starts with ideas, and then we move on to make those ideas tangible realities, right? So what we
Right.
doing? We creeping right now, right? We babes in what we doing right now. So we creeping. So now we moving forward. So we have to start. We start in here with talk, conversation, right? Reasoning, like we must start, and then we move on. So maybe you come back another time. Maybe in the future we hear and give us your opinion on what you really think. We babes in this, but I am saying though, if you're gonna criticize us, articulate your position. Don't just say we speaking stupidness. It's just talk, 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 talk. You tell us
Stupid is
what the
about what?
stupidness is about. What? That's what we want to know.
You know,
Join the
our next point
conversation.
is that our next point is that you know that when you're speaking sensible things to a fool, it seems as foolishness. So I'll just leave it at
Yeah. Yeah,
What do
man.
you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, come on. If people want to be a part of the conversation and they want to join the conversation, feel free. But it must be clear what you are saying. If you're gonna criticize someone for just talking and talking, because it's not clear what the criticism is, so you cannot really respond to it as such. But we appreciate the comments. We appreciate the feedback. You know, and we welcome the comments. We welcome the feedback. And we welcome people being a part of the conversation. But yeah, it just need a bit more clarity so that we can have something to respond to. We can clarify any misconceptions, we can clarify any doubts that is out there, because at the end of the day, we are giving our opinion and things, and there is a bit of facts in what we're saying. This is what we do as brethren. You understand? And as we talk about using the internet to your advantage, this is what we are doing. Putting our daily conversation that we have, our regular reasoning that we have in the social space, so that people can hear a different perspective. And even people are empowered by what we are doing, because to overcome this challenge and be in the cyberspace, being a part of this technology wasn't easy for I and I, but here we are doing it. And as we progress, as we go along, and we learn a lot more about the technology, we learn about the benefits and the positive of the technology.
Yeah.
another thing too is I don't want us to just hold it, because it's like a two-sided comment as well, because we don't know if he's referring to the topics that we're discussing. As you understand what I'm saying? We don't know if the thing that he's saying is these people per se, Trump and Biden, are the people that he's talking about.
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
why
know.
that's why we needed a
So,
bit more
you know what I'm
clarity on
saying?
it.
But it's people like these who just talk. So
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
could refer to the people that we're talking.
And it could also be referring to Dada and Binky.
So I heard them.
Yeah.
which I apologize.
So did I. I apologize as well.
So
I'm taking responsibility for my actions.
So
I
yes.
was listening. I was listening to a popular podcast the other day, and he make a really a comment that I had to think about. He said, "There's no longer the elders doesn't get around a bonfire anymore and pass down knowledge to the community anymore. The way all this done is on social media. So this is the bonfire. This is where you gather. And the reason why people like the IDMI and the IDM is on the social media is because the bonfire is being overwhelmed by all these people talking rubbish and negativity and you know what I mean, lewd stuff and, you know what I mean,
Keeping
And
this.
showing things and showing a false reality.
stupidness, right? So we, as the elders in this time now, we have to go around the bonfire and talk
Reason.
and pass down knowledge to, you know what I mean, to who need the knowledge, you know what I mean,
I don't
or, you know what I
want
mean,
it.
and who want it, right? Yeah. So, and this is the aim of the chat class to pass knowledge to for who
Yeah, one of the t-shirt, make
receive the
them see the
knowledge.
t-shirt there of Vanguard.
See that, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
As I start today, you know.
Yeah, man. Check out the merch.
Yeah, man. So I thought we there the man pass information, pass on knowledge, you know what I mean? So
So
people
yeah,
can
don't
live
knock the
better
tribe.
themselves.
Don't knock the tribe. Just realize that the tribe is on a process of prosperity
Growth.
and entrepreneurship, innovation and creativity. And that is what we're in the space to augment from the space and the metaverse basically. So yeah, let's
Yeah.
trot along.
I would telling everyone, keep commenting, keep liking, keep sharing. We love the interaction.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, we just wish that person could interact some more. So we could
Yeah,
solve
man.
So
And
we
just
understand.
drop
because we love the
drop us
interaction.
a private message via the email. We can do the conversation online or we can do it offline. It doesn't matter,
Right.
you know,
Or
because the
we
reasoning.
could invite that person to come on the
Share their up. That
the
is
wealth,
it. Invitation is
of
open.
knowledge, the wealth of knowledge that they possess, they could pass it on. You know what I mean?
Yes, man.
Invitation is
balance.
open.
That's the purpose of the platform.
Right. So in order we're talking stupidness and talking too much, we have somebody who come in with real, you know what I mean, stuff.
Solutions.
Yeah.
It's a footnote to Okavango, because it seemed like you're about to wrap up the balanced views.
Yes,
I wa-
I am.
I wanted to just say quickly that you know, I saw a good sign this week as well, where Trinidad's Dwight York is bidding for the position of head coach of the Jamaica national team. Because I noticed you deliberately didn't talk about sports this week. I appreciate it. So, you know, I just
For a
wanted to
few
say that
weeks
it's
now.
a good
For
look.
a few weeks now, Dada.
It's a good look, you know, looking at where we're looking at our own people trying to take these positions and do these things. So
Nice.
I just wanted to
Nice.
drop that in there, really, you know.
Big up Dwight York, but I think Trinidad also need a coach. But we're gonna leave that
For another day.
and move on to another day. Another day.
Yes,
This has
sir.
been the balance news.
Bingy the
Back
man
over
of
to you,
fire
Dada.
shot. Bingy.
Yes, give thanks. Great reasoning. Great thing like Okavongo said. You know, like, share, subscribe. We're noticing a trend as well that the videos, they're getting more views than subscriptions. So you're watching the videos, but you're not just clicking that button. It doesn't take anything to just click the button. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take anything away from your day. It doesn't take all it takes is a click. Just click the subscribe button. Help us grow. Because what we're growing is for
You want
us.
that get into the technology, you know. Just a click away,
Yeah,
Dada.
just a click away. I know that.
All right?
Yeah, man.
So-
that is it, man.
Yeah, man. Give thanks and praise. Yes, and I think that's it for the balanced views. And I look forward to the next episode. Please join us again for the next episode. And
So I stop